Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody is having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, guys, so we got another strong close this week. We did close out near the highs, and I do think we're gonna be going a little bit higher in the short term. Whether that just be a gap up and fade to start off the week, I'm really not sure. But I do think things are suggesting we're going to be continuing higher in the short term. I'm just going to remind everyone, hey. All right. The market's strong right now. It's strong. We have components suggesting we are going higher, and we are probably going to see a correction over the coming weeks here. And you're going to see a lot of people get really bearish when in reality they've been wrong every single time. So I just want everyone to remember that is the reality of things. That is how things are. And when you see that pullback, it is going to provide a bunch of opportunities there, mean reversion opportunities for you to get in along this bull trend, along this aggressive uptrend we got going. All right. Doesn't matter what ticker you're talking about. Okay. If it's moving with the market and, everything pulls back there. Yeah. It's likely just going to push back up the highs once the market starts pushing back up. If it's one of the leaders, if it's something that's strong in this market, that's probably going to be how that goes. And, Mag 7 stocks as a whole, the Mags ETF here, does that look all that bad to you? No. All right. Like when we pull back, we're going to expect that buyers are going to step in. Same thing over here on SPY and QQQ. Okay. So just wanted to start off the video with that. We're going to kick it off here with the indices. We're going to go over the Mag 7 stocks. Then I have some trade ideas into next week. Some charts that look ready to explode, ready to rip, just for you. Okay. So that'll be at the end of the video. All right, so we did have a strong close to the week on SPY, QQQ, IWM over here. Swept all-time highs. It did end up pulling back by end of week over here. But I do want to say, it's very likely going to have this big breakout moment over here, whether it goes like this or whether it goes like this. We have no idea, but it's probably going to continue going. You see a pullback, it's a mean reversion before the thing ends up going up and having a big ass breakout just like that. Okay. We have a lot of stocks that are set up like this. Okay. And, that's the small caps index right there. Guess what? Small caps, we have some, I'm going to point out a few at the end of the video. We have a few that are just looking ready to explode. So I'm guessing that is going to be taking place around the corner. All right. But, yeah, strong close over here. SPY QQQ. As far as levels go on the upside, guys, for SPY, we have 664.89 above there. Okay, we're talking 666. I know, crazy number. 668 and 670. On the downside, we're watching 660.27, 656.90, 654.30, and 649.48. You lose this area, all right, you see a larger correction. But until proven otherwise, you're going to get these mean reversions. Okay, and we have gone quite a bit at this point. Over here, people are getting really bearish. Guess what? We're way up in the sky compared to over there. Okay, they were dead wrong. So I'm just telling you, all right, the whole September seasonality, being bearish and all, anybody who is banking off or trying to bank off that, they did not bank this month. All right, it's the exact opposite. You still have, 1.5 weeks here for this monthly candle to get shed on. But I don't know if they're really going to do it. I don't know. But same time, I do think we will get a pullback over the next 1 to 2 weeks here. I do. We have these 4-hour bearish divergences building out. So if we do pop up the new highs, like that's what looks probable here in the short term, it's probably just going to, put in some more divergence going on there. And at some point, we will get, some sort of correction going on here. It doesn't matter what it looks like. We will get that mean reversion. All right. So just be aware that that is going to be the case. All right. Yes, things are bullish right now, but, I still stand by what I was saying last week. Okay, this rip up to new highs here, if we get it, which we did end up getting it, I personally think it is an opportunity to be taking risk off the table for that correction, where you can then add on, just add the risk back on once we do end up seeing that correction. So that's still my opinion. And while, things do look really, really sexy over here, I am going to point out how extended things really are getting. We'll come over here to QQQ. You could just, see the daily RSI guides. It is getting to a point where a lot of times we will start pulling back to the 9 EMA. All right, we are extended off of the 9 EMA by almost 10 points there, and we have not tested the 5 EMA now in 2 sessions. At some point that is going to happen. But I also want to point out that the times you do end up coming all the way up here, you have that pullback. So this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean we can't go higher in the short term. I do think we go a little bit higher in the short term. But All right. I do think around the corner we have something like this going on, and it's going to shock people, and we're just going to probably march our way back up the highs after that. But it doesn't mean we're not going to have that. Okay. Like it's probably still going to happen at some point. But the daily RSI getting up to where it is right now, if we just look back, okay, the corrections, they will be bought. All right, this is when you are in a bullish trend, okay, and you are going higher. Even over here, you did have one last hurrah before end up, you had the sideways market for 1 to 2 months there, and then you fell off a cliff. But just look back. The times you do end up, coming up here, it does go higher. Prices do go higher, and if we see a correction, it will be bought. All right, so we'll update everything as price action develops here, but that's what we're seeing ahead of time. Higher, pullback, higher. We're going to be watching for it, and we're going to get ready, and we're going to try and bank off it, okay? All right, but coming back over to here to SPY, guys, went over upside levels. We'll just go through them again. I'll just go through everything real quick here. All right, upside 664.89, 666, 668, 670, 675. Downside 660.27, 656.90, 654.30, 649.48. Coming over to QQQ on the upside, we're talking 600.05, guys. We did get that 600 level, and I have been saying last week that, hey, I think around 600 we're probably going to be selling. All right, we test that number. I think there's a lot of people that are going to probably be taking profits around that round number. All right, well, now we're here, okay? Above 605, we're talking 602, 605, 610. On the downside, we have 598.14, 595.85, 592.86, 587.86, and 583.32. You take this level out, larger correction comes. We're looking at that point for the weekly mean reversion, and that could be all the way down over here, anywhere from 565 to 570, really. Okay, I don't think they'll take out this low, but well, again, we'll update everything as price action develops. Okay, but that's QQQ. Coming over to DIA, guys, doesn't look all that bad. It looks like you want to head higher in the short term. Take out that 464.37 high. Okay, that is DIA, and IWM, we already pointed that out. Okay, you did end up sweeping the high this week. But the fact that we got up here tells us this thing wants to continue, guys. Okay, so we'll see if we, have this pullback here. But if we, see this immediately, like it's going to lead in 1 to 2 weeks from now from, that just getting bought up. So I think it makes sense for us to go a little bit higher on the market and then see that pullback. Personally, all right, personally. But again, we'll update things as they come. VIX over here, guys, still just doing a whole lot of nothing. I'll let you guys know when we have risk of a larger VIX spike, but you got to take out a one of these swing highs here. See how this swing high was lower than that one, this one was lower than that one, this one was lower than that one. Okay, so that's where your watch ran down, 1938. Until then, all right, just focus on the indices, guys. You don't have to concern yourself over here with VIX. Now, as far as the Mag 7 stocks goes, guys, we have the MAGS ETF. It has a strong close to the week. All right. It looks like it wants to go higher. I'm just still going to say we probably do have that pullback around the corner because things are getting a bit extended and daily RSIs are now getting overbought. Okay, Apple ended up hitting the jets on Friday there. Very heavy volume. Okay, the heaviest you've seen in a while here. And yeah, I do think 250 is incoming. We talked about it above 241.32. We think that next leg up to 250 plus is incoming. And at that point, you're probably going back to all-time highs at 260.10. Okay, so Apple's looking good over there. Expect dips to be bought. Microsoft ended up perking up here on Friday again with the heavy volume, guys. They did have the S&P 500 rebalancing, so we have stocks like APP and Hood over there. They got included to the S&P 500 not too long ago, and that's why they got this pop over here. But Friday, yesterday, or 2 days ago now, was the day of that actual rebalancing. So that's when they came in. So, that explains what's going on there, okay? But Microsoft over here also had itself quite a freaking move on Friday there, and it closed out the week strong, and it's probably going to continue next week, okay? On the upside, we're watching 522.82, and above there, 530 plus incoming. NVDA. All right, you're rejecting the 0.786 right there. You went from golden pocket up to golden pocket. We're going to see about it, guys. We're going to be watching this trend line here, and if you do happen to break above 180.28, I think this thing goes straight to all-time highs, 184.47, and we're probably going to 190 plus in the short term. All right, Amazon over here, I still think it's only a matter of time until this thing pops back up to highs. Last weekly update, we talked about how I thought we were going to be getting this candle right here, and then we wouldn't be popping up to highs until the next week. We'll see if that's still going to be the case. We will see. We will see. But honestly, lackluster price action going on over here. I just figured we, after doing that, it's a tricky market, like what the heck is this? It came out of nowhere. But at the end of the day, doing what GOOG decided to do over here, a bunch of this, chip chop action back and forth, in that before it decided to hit the jets. So I think that is the case over here on Amazon, and I definitely think it's one that is going to be making up to all-time highs in the short term. Just take its time. I can't really say anything else on it other than that. Meta, guys, all right, it looks like it wants all-time highs. I'm still just going to remind everyone that, this monthly candle very well could just turn out being a whole ass nothing burger. All right, because we printed the shooting star candlestick last month. All right, we'll see what happens over here. But, does that look bearish to you? No, I'm trying to paint a picture here. Very clear as day. Things can pull back, but at the end of the day, they're going to be bought. Anybody going against that is, I'm just saying, you've been wrong the whole entire time. Stop trying to be wrong. Okay, maybe you don't want to be wrong. Okay, maybe you're not trying, but you are. Okay, so stop hurting yourself. There you go. Google, does that look all that bearish to you? Okay, I can't tell you if it's going to go much higher, but it looks like it wants to go higher in the short term. That's all I could really say on it. There's nothing else to talk about. All right, over here in Tesla, I don't like this weekly candle you just put in. Doesn't mean you can't continue higher, okay, but I think it's more likely that we will just be in this consolidation for the time being. This is just slowly drifting higher here, and if you come down to the hourly, you actually can see that it is compressing over here. All right, so we have that little compression action going on here. Okay, that is making a little ascending wedge or a rising wedge there. We'll see about it, but I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I think there's much better opportunities with how Tesla's moving right now. I'm just telling you, the premiums are absolutely jacked over here. So if you're an option trader, even if you're trading shares, like there are so many better opportunities right now than Tesla. If you made money on this move over there, all right, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, you made it. Okay, but now you've been going flat for like 4 to 5 sessions now. What is the point in trading the ticker right now? There's not. So I'm just going to tell you, I think we are in one of these periods, and I don't think we're in one of these vertical moves anymore. I know we had that first little leg, but I think we go sideways for the time being, and within 1 to 2 weeks, I think we probably start, seeing the breakout for that next leg. But I think we develop more structure. I think we build out more structure. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong on it, but what I know for a fact I'm not wrong on is other options premiums will move way freaking better than Tesla over here. Just understand that. Okay, you're going to need a massive move over here compared to others that I'm going to point out at the end of the video that very likely are going to get these, little moves that could bring bigger gains, whereas this, you need a big move to bring big gains. Okay, that's Tesla. All right, those are the Mag 7 stocks, guys. We're going to go over some setups for you guys, okay? So I told you guys about the small caps, okay? I think we're starting that next move, and here's a name that I think is going to benefit from it. Lemonade, all right? You may remember this one from over here. You were setting up with that little flat top range set up right over there, and you actually broke down, but now we are back to the scene of the crime. And it is very likely that this is going to begin, maybe even 70 plus in the short term here, maybe this week. Either way, that setup is definitely there. I can't tell you if it's going to be like one of these impulsive moves there. I really can't tell you all. I don't know. All right. But what I can tell you is you just had your mean reversion here in the weekly time frame. You're breaking out to new highs on increasing volume above 60.41. You have absolutely nothing until 66.48. Probably going to come in the short term. And then above there, 70, above there, 79.54. It's Lemonade. CRWV, all right, I've been talking about this one, guys. It's been loading up on those 130 and 140 calls. This thing started going on Friday. It sold pretty quick, but, congrats if you made a quick little bag off there. Okay, I ended up dumping the weeklies there. I'm just telling you, you think that's all she wrote? No, this thing is just getting started. It actually hasn't started. You haven't gotten a daily close above 125.67. That's the level we need the daily close over. All right, but it looks ready to rip, and I'm telling you, they've been loading the freaking boat over here. So if there's a name to pay attention to, it's CRWV. Watch for a big move to start spawning over here. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but I'm telling you, they've been loading the freaking boat over here, and the daily and weekly charts ain't looking too bad. You see the 4 hour over here getting compressed as well, up against 125.67. All right, this looks like Snap City, baby, to the upside. Okay, there you go, CRWV. Over here on Hood, guys, all right, this was your no-brainer buy over here. I'm just going to tell you, it looked a bit iffy with last week's upper wick. Now I'm going to tell you the thing wants to go higher, okay? This heavy, very heavy volume, the heaviest volume that Hood's ever seen here, I'm pretty sure. came in on, yeah, heaviest volume ever seen, came in on Friday. Why? Because of that S&P 500 rebalancing. They did end up getting added to it. This thing's going higher, guys. It's going higher. It just broke out the new highs as of Friday there. Got the weekly close above last week's high at 123.44. I think 135 plus is coming this week. 135 to 140 is kind of my weekly target when I'm thinking here. But dips are clear as day going to be buying opportunities over here on Hood. Expect this bad boy to continue grinding higher. Okay, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like. Weekly chart, you're going to keep going higher. Daily, you're going to keep grinding. Okay, so these dips into the 9 EMA, all right, they're going to continue being your buying opportunities over here on Hood. Sound, all right, sound, we talked about it when sitting down here. I put it on your radar right there, okay, right there on Tuesday's video. But I'll tell you right now, this thing wants to break out above 1708, and if it does, there's nothing until 1885. Above there, 20 plus incoming, 2285, 2498. I think we probably do have a massive move right around the corner over here on sound. It's not one I would like to miss. So yeah, keep it on your radar over here over the next, we're going to say 1 to 3 weeks. I think this thing could have a really outsized move and potentially get back up these highs, 2498. Okay. AFRM. All right. AFRM. It's a no-brainer. It's getting ready for its move. What I can't tell you is if it builds out more structure here this week. I can't tell you if it's going to do that or not. I can't. You got this breakout over here, very similar to, you know, our weekly candle here. Guess what? You hit it with the break and retest the next week. So that would be like us pulling all the way back over here. All right, 82.5 to 85 bucks. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Okay. I don't think you're going to do that. I think this thing is probably going to get moving and grooving in the short term here. It looks really nice. It's one for you to keep on your radar. Above 93.20 brings 100 plus. Above there, 108.20. Okay. This thing looks clean over here. AFRM. TM, guys. Oh, it's knocking on the door, guys. It's waiting for that nice old, big old breakout here, okay? TM above 91.45, above 91.5. This thing can go 100 plus. I'm talking all in one day. This thing, they're holding it right here, but the fact that you are consolidating underneath this previous high here, you have an equal high, tells us that they want to break this, guys. They want to do it. All right, notice how you have this high made, okay, and then you pull back, okay, you have your pullback. You didn't make it back up to the high. We made it back up to the high, okay? We actually, I think, took it out. High 90.97 over here, the high over here. No, we didn't take it out, 91.06. Regardless, the fact that it came all the way up here, we got, you know, an equal high in the chart. It tells us this thing wants to go up, okay? So whether it, you know, builds out more structure here before doing so, consolidates at the, you know, starting part of the week here, and then rips end of week, all right? Either way, it's one for you to definitely keep on your radar over here. There's a big base breakout. The chart speaks for itself over here. The weekly and monthly charts, they look phenomenal over here. You're banging on the devil's door. The thing wants to explode. That's TM over here, okay? Maybe it does build out more structure for a few weeks here and then go. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll tell you, I'm pretty sure it's going to go this week. So put it on your radar, okay? ASTS started catching a bid this week. Not looking all too bad. Yeah, it's, you know, break and retest here on the monthly and the weekly time frame. You found buyers off the monthly 9 EMA there. All right, and now I do think this thing is going to continue waking up over here. You got heavy volume on Friday, and yeah, we are going to be looking for this thing to get 50 plus in the short term. Probably going to happen this week. All right, you had a whole bunch of consolidation, a slow and controlled fall back down to the breakout level, and if we actually mark this out, we can see you found buyers in between these two breakout levels. Okay, this is exactly what you want to see over here, and you got increasing volume here on this breakout candle. Okay, this is looking pretty. You reclaim the 21 EMA. You're back above the 9 as of this week as well. I think you're probably gonna, you know, you're gonna hit it with these trending green candlesticks over here, and I think dips are gonna be bought. Okay, so expect that to be the case over here on ASTS. Just know how this thing trades. It trades like TM and Uber, where, you know, every little move it has, it likes to, you know, give a little bit of a back there. Okay, you have your big move, you pull back. Okay, right here, you had to pull back that day, pull back that day, pull back that day. All right, it's just how the ticker trades. You have gap downs, you have pullbacks. So just realize you're going to see these mean reversions a lot of the time to the 4-hour, 9 and 21 EMA on this name. That's how to trade it. All right, there you go. Have a blast. Open, guys. You didn't get the move this week. No, you did not. The weekly candle did not expand over last week's high. What I'll tell you right now is it's still consolidating at the highs here. It's very likely still getting ready for that big move. And since it didn't happen this week, it probably is going to happen next week. Regardless, keep it on your radar over here. It's ready for an explosive move. You just got to be patient, okay? That's open. Uber over here, guys. Like I said, it trades like TM. You have this big move, okay, you give most of the move back. You have this big move, give most of the move back, okay? That's how the ticker trades over here. At some point, this consolidation is going to break, and I think you just have a few vertical weeks, and I'm doing my best to try and catch that move. And I think you guys can put it on your radar as well, because the fact that we didn't get it over here tells us we probably are having a bigger breakout move right here, 99.70 over there. We're probably going to get a couple points to the upside right off rip. Okay, so Uber, keep it on your radar over here for a move this week. Okay. All right. So those are my main watches this week. I'm just going to go over some things that are clear as day. They're no brainers over here. All right. But those are the setups that I'm, specifically going to be paying attention to trading this week. Those are things that I think are getting ready for these outsized moves. These other ones I'm going to point out here are just no brainers. They're, we're watching them. Okay. But those are the ones that you could pay attention to this week and probably pull out some really nice moves. Okay. First one, IBM, guys. We talked about it when it was in consolidation. I think it was on this day right over there. It took a few sessions to work its way up there, but it did get that weekly close above 260.66. And I pointed out, if we got this, okay, I think it's only going to be a few weeks until we're back up at all-time highs. Okay, so IBM, I think we're going to see some nice moves out of this. And specifically how to trade this ticker is, these dips are going to be your buying opportunities. I'm not telling anybody long and up here, but if you start the week off with a dip, expect it to be bought. Okay, you could just see again how this ticker likes to trade is you have your pullbacks to your 9 and your 21 pretty often. Okay, so you're going to be able, if you're a short-term trader, you could pull out a lot of trades on this ticker alone over the coming weeks, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so that's IBM. PLTR, guys, congratulations. Okay, it's pushing right back up the highs. Congrats if you're buyers with us down here. I personally got out. I think, though, I got out too early, and the thing next week is going to hit all-time highs. We're going 190 plus, okay? But still, congratulations if you took this setup over here. All right, you even got your second, enter over there. Entry at 163.20, break and retest. But you're now above the 0.786, which tells us this thing wants to target the highs. 190 plus incoming, and if we, have learned anything from the past, it's going to keep going higher once it does its correction and then works its way back up to highs. It's going higher. 200 plus incoming. That's PLTR. QUBT, congratulations if you guys caught this move. Absolute massive move here on Friday. Almost a 30% day. The fact that it got a daily close above 21.74 tells us it's probably going to have, a further move. Regardless, if you see a dip over here, it's probably going to be bought initially if we see that mean reversion. Okay, it's exactly like these big impulsive moves that then consolidate near the 9 EMA over there. If you see that for a few sessions, it's probably getting ready for another move back up. All right, Carvana, this is a no-brainer. It wants to push back up the highs over here. All right, it's consolidating. I actually pointed out, I think it was right here. It did end up breaking down, but now it broke up. All right, so it broke up above 376.83. From here, guys, it looks like it wants to, it's targeting 413.34. I imagine we're going to get, 430 plus if we take that out. Either way, Carvana, and again, this is why it's not, top watch over here. It's not something you have, it's not a guarantee. It's just there's not a setup to trade over here. It's me telling you dips are likely going to be bought, and this thing is probably going to get up to the highs. It's something for you to watch. Okay. But I'm telling you, the ones I pointed out first, those are the ones that you very well can have a very good week if you just focus on those names this week, okay? You over here, guys, consolidating, all right? You have about a week and a half, it looks like, of consolidation, almost 2 weeks, a week and a half. Above 46.94, you have nothing until 50.08. I think that move is coming over here on you. Zeta, all right, hit it with the break and retest the last 2 sessions over here, over 21.02, above 21.79. I think this thing gets 23 plus in the short term, but pretty clean action going on. Break and retest above this high for quite some time. All right, this is a month and a half, and you just now started breaking up from that. Yes, the daily RSI is almost overbought, but if you can see, the last 2 times it did go higher. The last 2 times it was up here, it did go higher. All right, so I do think we're going to see further upside on this name. I do. Okay, and that's something you can pay attention to over the next 1 to 2 weeks. We're looking for upside on Zeta. Grab over here, guys. Heavy volume coming into the stock. Heaviest volume it's had in a while this week. Actually, heaviest volume ever this week. I'm expecting this thing to continue trekking higher, guys. All right, dips are going to be buying opportunities. But it is a bit extended. So if you see some consolidation built out here, it's probably before that next impulsive 10 to 20% move up that happens on 1 to 2 sessions like this. Okay, so if we could see consolidation, reversion to the mean around the 9 EMA, that's likely what comes next. Keep on your radar. I think this thing is going to be going 760 plus over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Pan W, again, these are not, top watches there. I don't know if I'm going to trade this name. It's so immaculate. This thing is going to explode. I just know this ticker is an absolute troll here, and it has very, honestly, small movement intraday. You'd think with somehow how this thing sets up, it would have these explosive moves. No, it does not have explosive moves. So just realize, I know this setup looks explosive here. I could see it, but I'm showing you on the smaller time frames there, how the thing trades is it grinds. Okay, it's like a Reddit. And yeah, so just don't expect this thing to hit the jets on you. Okay, you've slowly built your way back up here. All right, if anything, it might honestly do something like this. Okay, so it might not go yet, but I just thought it was too beautiful not to put on your radar. This looks immaculate over here on the monthly. And if you're someone that trades shares, if you're someone who is willing to sit in this name for a while, okay, and you don't care about what happens in the short term here, I think you're going to have a good time. And I think you're probably going to catch a move to like 240, 250 over the next 1 to 2 months, 1 to 3 months. That's what I'll say to cover my butt. Okay. It's Pan W. Okla, we all saw it. It went 60% on the week. What the heck? Congrats if you caught it. Still hasn't had that pullback, guys. Still has not had a pullback, which tells us it's coming. We're going to get this daily mean reversion at some point back to the 9 EMA, and it's going to be bought. I can't tell you when it happens. I don't know. But at some point it happens. We're in one of these absolute vertical moves over here. We haven't seen them in a while on Okla, honestly. But we did tell you, okay, the fact that you barely got a breakout here. We knew there was a big move. I wish I caught it. I'm sad that I didn't catch it. But at the same time, shoulda, coulda, woulda, never served anyone. And it's not going to serve you either, okay? If you missed out on it, okay, and it really hurt you all that bad, all right, write about it. Go see what you did wrong about it and how you possibly could have caught it. And even if you didn't catch a full size, all right, how could you have caught it? Okay, maybe you would have added some here. Like that's what I'm saying. So if it's eating at you that much, there is a way you could have caught it, and you can work that into your system over time. And it's just a little short-term pain for some long-term gain. So don't be all too butthurt. In the way, okay, it's beneficial to miss out on these things because eventually it'll work its way into your system, and how you potentially could trade these moves in the future. Over here, guys, you didn't get any pullback. We're still going to say every single pullback after your fresh breakouts has been followed by new highs. Okay, we just haven't had that mean reversion, so watch for the mean reversion there. Okay, nobody should be chasing Okla up there. Nobody should. All right, we knew it was going 100 plus. Okay, 130 plus. Nah, we didn't know that. Okay, that's 30% move in one day. Is kind of crazy. SERV. I'm going to highlight the monthly and the weekly time frame here. This thing is starting to pop off. It is probably going to continue popping off over the next month. That's the monthly candle. This next one's going to be all green like that. Guess what? You're going to see pullbacks there on the weekly and daily time frame. The last time you did end up having a similar look to how you did this month, okay, guess what? It was a whole bunch of grinding, a whole bunch of pullbacks there. So I think that's probably how this ticker is going to trade. So if you see them, you can take advantage of them. All right, pull back to the 9 and the 21 EMA. That's your mean reversion on the daily time frame. You're watching on SERV. Reddit. All right, it's a name that I'm going to keep saying. Pullbacks are going to be your buying opportunities. You do not want to be buying into new highs on this stock. It's not how to trade this stock. It's not. You're waiting for the pullbacks. You're getting in on those, and you're targeting the new highs, and you're cutting at those new highs, okay? And if you want to leave runners, you can, okay? But, that's how this thing has traded in the past. It's how it traded over here, okay? It's just a grindy ticker, and that's how it's going to keep trading. It is what it is, okay? If you're not willing to, trade it that way, then don't trade the ticker. It's not something you're going to see crazy breakout fall through on. I don't think so. I don't. I know you got, this over here, but what happened? You went up 5% and then you pulled back 3, broke out. I'm just saying it's probably not going to do anything crazy. All right, Rivian, it's trying to it's trying to get ready for this move, guys. I think this next week we'll see if we get it. If we get a weekly candlestick going over 1503, I think this might have an impulsive move. All right, which is why it's not top watch, because I'm not sure. I'm really not. This thing has been putting a lot of consolidation here, a lot of volatile ups and downs. But I think a move is right around the corner. Okay, guys, I got a few more for you guys. GLXY Galaxy over here did not get the weekly close above 33.17. But you did push up there, and from the daily, it looks like you're either going to build out consolidation here and then move up, or you're just going to move up and take out that 34.25 high. I think this thing is going higher. UUU, we talked about it, guys. It was a no-brainer on this pullback over here, this bullish consolidation. On Friday, it did end up getting quite a decent day at the highs. They're almost a 10% day, but it's one that I think is dips are going to continue being bought over here. Okay. All right. So that's what I have for you guys today, guys. There are other names like UNH over here, pulled back. It's reverting to the mean right now. It's probably setting up for that next leg, so you can keep on your radar. But I did point out at the beginning of the, this little section of our video, the top watches for the week. Those are the things that look like they can really bust the move. And I'm going to just quickly go through them right now just to sum them up. Okay. Lemonade over here. Definitely a top watch kind of name over here. This thing is ready to go, and whether it wants to dance around here for a week and then go is irrelevant. The thing is about to have a massive move. You can easily catch that massive move if you just pay attention. Okay, just because it doesn't move for a few sessions here does not mean it's just boom, goes in the trash. This is a name that's been loading this move for a while, and it's now starting. So I'm telling you, this is when you bank on it. You don't try and trade it during this. You try and trade it during this. Okay, that's Lemonade. CRWV, guys, they've been loading the absolute boat on these. We have like over $6 million at this point in those 130 and 140s for the 2026 2027 calls. I think they're going to send this with the surprise catalyst at some point. I really do. So I'm watching it. Okay. And I do think even in the short term here, it does look appealing, and it looks like it's going to have Snap City to the upside. Okay. It's getting really compressed over here. At some point that breaks. Hood, guys. Hood is a no-brainer. The thing wants to continue. All right. You had your big pullback. Boom. You come up to highs. You sell that and have another pullback. Boom. You come up to highs. It's like double confirmation right there that, yeah, bears folded. The thing wants to go higher. You have massive consolidation over here. If you just take it from the low to the top of the range, it's like 20. We're just going to say 20 points. Okay. 20 points above here. We only went 8. Okay, that's coming up, 140. Okay, 140 is still the target over here for Hood. I think it's going to happen. Sound over here, there's a solid chance this thing is going to have a massive week over here. Put it on your radar. TM, again, it's banging on the devil's door over here. This thing wants to go to heaven. Okay, I guess it's not banging on the devil's door. It's banging on the other guy's door because it wants to go straight up to heaven. This thing looks beautiful. This thing looks like it can rip. And I think it's worth keeping on your radar. ASTS, all right? This is in the rocket theme here. And guess what? Break and retest starting to heat up. There's a solid chance you are going to be having this trend start up here. Instead of this choppy back and forth, we've had this slow and controlled move down. You can even, pull out some sort of looking wedge here if you just use your squiggly lines there, okay? Regardless, bullish consolidation into, mean reversion, break and retest, and now you're reclaiming key moving averages. The thing looks like it's about to go 50 plus incoming. All right, affirm above 93.20. This thing looks like it could rip up to 100 plus real quick. And when this thing goes, we could see these weeks are big. So yeah, all right, 1017 100C. I think they're going for $300 right now. They will go for about $1,000 if they get in the money. Okay, so big. Oh, I might have been looking at that when we were around $90. Okay, so they may be a little elevated. Regardless, money's to be made over here on this name. Open still in bullish consolidation at the highs, guys. People might think this, this is bearish. That it's not going. I'm just going to tell you. Okay, you consolidate here at the lows. At the lows. Okay, you're consolidating at the highs. The thing is, it's getting ready to move. I know it's doing that, but at the end of the day, it is very likely going to have another big pop here. We could easily keep it on the radar and catch that next big, 30-40% rip up here. $14-15 comes quick, above $11. And then Uber, all right. It did not get a big move this week. What it did, well, it got big moves, but it was big move down, big move up. We are watching for the break over 99.70 this week, and we're going to see if that brings us to 105 plus, because we did not get a breakout last time here, and we got a failed breakout right over here. This one should bring a larger move. Okay. All right. Those are the top watches. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, just please remember to leave a like. If you want to come trade with me, I'm live every day. I trade options. I'm an option swing trader. I do day trade, but that is my bread and butter there. And yeah, that link is down below. And with that being said, guys, I hope you guys are crushing this market. Okay. I give you guys everything you need in these videos here to have a good week. If you want a little extra help, you can come join the Discord and trade with us. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys are absolutely killing this market here. We have a hot market. And I'm definitely going to say, I think we have some good moves that are going to happen this week. And it's a time to be taking off the profits. Okay. If you have a crazy week this week, okay, don't go balls to the walls into the next week. Okay. Take a step back, because we're probably going to have that correction we talked about at the very beginning of the video. Okay. I know. We're talking about all these bullish setups over here. People might have forgotten what we talked about in the beginning of the video, how we very well are going to have that correction over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Don't be lacking. Okay, be prepared for it. You can make a bag off it instead of shitting your pants over it. All right, I hope you guys have a good time. With that being said, go follow me on the Twitter. I'm coming back to posting Twitter charts every day, and that is also where you can get extra content. Okay, if you like these videos, you'll like what I put out over there on the Twitter. All right, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.